What do you see when you gaze upon your own reflection? Is it the person you are, or the person you wish to be? The mirror, a silent observer of our everyday lives, holds the power to reflect our deepest truths. It is a testament to the concept of self-image, an idea as complex as the human mind itself. Our self-image, our mental projection of who we are, is a potent force. It shapes our reality, influences our actions, and ultimately, maps our journey through life. If we perceive ourselves positively, if we see strength, resilience, and beauty in our reflection, we open the doors to a more fulfilling life. We become architects of our own happiness, builders of our own success. But remember, the mirror reflects not just our physical form, but the soul within. So ask yourself, who do you see in the mirror? Once there was a man named John who saw only flaws in his reflection. In the mirror of his mind, John painted a portrait of imperfection, a tableau of self-doubt and criticism. Every wrinkle was a mistake, each blemish a failure. His self-image was a jigsaw puzzle, assembled from fragments of negativity, each piece a distorted reflection of his true self. John's journey began in the darkest corners of his mind, where self-doubt lurked like a shadow. His struggle was not against the world outside, but the world within. His enemy was not the reflection in the mirror, but the perception of that reflection. It was a battle that left him feeling defeated day after day. Then came a day of revelation, a moment that acted as a beacon in the fog of self-loathing. John realized that the flaws he saw were not etched into his skin, but were illusions cast by his own mind. He understood that he was not flawed, but human. And being human meant that he was an amalgamation of strengths and weaknesses, victories and failures, all interwoven into a beautiful tapestry of individuality. The transformation was not an overnight miracle, it was a journey, a gradual ascent from the depths of self-doubt to the heights of self-acceptance. John began to replace each negative thought with a positive affirmation. He learned to appreciate his uniqueness, rather than comparing himself to others. He began to view his mistakes not as failures, but as stepping stones on the path of growth. John started to see beauty in his reflection, not because he was flawless, but because he realized that his flaws were part of what made him unique. He learned to love himself, not despite his imperfections, but because of them. And with each passing day, the man in the mirror began to look a little less like a stranger, and a little more like a friend. John's reflection changed, not because he altered his physical form, but because he transformed the way he viewed himself. And in doing so, he discovered the true power of self-love and acceptance. He realized that the most significant transformations begin and end within us. So how did John transform his self-image? Our friend John embarked on a journey of transformation not by altering his physical appearance, but by changing his internal perspective. The first step was self-love. He learned to embrace his strengths and forgive his weaknesses. He discovered that he is worthy of love, respect, and kindness primarily from himself. Next, he practiced acceptance. John realized that he is a work in progress, and that's okay. Each day is a new opportunity to grow and improve. He accepted that he is not perfect and that perfection is a myth that hinders growth more than it promotes it. Finally, he focused on setting realistic goals. John started creating small, achievable targets that gradually led him towards his ultimate objective. This approach not only boosted his confidence, but also shaped his self-image in a positive light. John found that the key to a positive self-image was not in changing his reflection, but in changing the way he perceived it. Perception, as it turns out, holds immense power. It's like a lens through which we view our world, coloring our experiences with shades of our own choosing. Let's consider John's tale as a case in point. John, a man of many talents, was haunted by a self-image that echoed failure and disappointment. His mirror reflected not his achievements, but his perceived shortcomings. But one day, John chose to change the lens. He decided to perceive himself not as a failure, but as a work in progress. He began to see his mistakes not as a testament to his incompetence, but as stepping stones to his growth. And in that moment, the world shifted. The mirror that once echoed failure now reflected resilience. The man who was once haunted by his shortcomings now celebrated his growth. Perception had rewritten his reality. In the end, it wasn't the mirror that needed to change, it was John, and so he did. So what do you see in your mirror now? Is it a flicker of change, a glowing ember of self-worth, just waiting to be fanned into a full-blown flame? Or perhaps it's a radiant beam of self-confidence shining brightly, illuminating even the darkest corners of self-doubt. Your journey of self-transformation is a personal one, unique in its challenges and triumphs. But remember this: each step you take, each hurdle you overcome, it all contributes to the masterpiece that is your self-image. A positive self-image isn't a destination, it's a journey. A journey that is shaped by your thoughts, your actions, your perception. It's a journey that will be filled with highs and lows, with victories and setbacks. But in the end, it will be a journey worth taking. Remember, the mirror is but a reflection. It is you who holds the power to shape what it reveals.